where science meets imagination and the future begins. This is the Singularity Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Singularity Show. I'm Arjun Patel, and as always, I'm joined by Priya Singh. Priya, are you ready to dive into the whole AI replacement or reinvention debate?
Absolutely, Arjun. This is a question I get asked all the time. Will AI take our jobs, or will it just change what we do? I think it's a bit of both, honestly. AI is already automating a lot of repetitive, tedious tasks, which can actually be a relief for many workers.
Yeah, totally. I remember my first big project as a junior engineer. This was maybe 2012. We built a simple script to automate data entry for our finance team. It wasn't fancy AI, but suddenly people who spent hours copying numbers into spreadsheets could focus on, like, analyzing trends or brainstorming new ideas. It was wild to see how much more engaged everyone became.
That's such a great example. And it's not just about freeing up time. It's about shifting the focus to more creative and strategic work. But I do worry, sometimes, that not everyone will benefit equally. Some roles might disappear entirely, while others evolve. It's a complex transition.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always that fear, right? Like, is AI gonna just replace us? But most experts, at least the ones I've read, say AI should complement humans, not replace them. It's about making our work more meaningful, not just more efficient. But I guess it depends on how companies actually use the tech.
Exactly. And that's where regulation and collaboration come in. We need industry, academia, and government to work together to make sure AI is used responsibly. Otherwise, we risk losing the human side of work, which is so important for well-being and satisfaction.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a lot of people underestimate how much humans bring to the table: creativity, empathy, all that stuff. AI can crunch numbers, but it can't, understand office politics or come up with a wild new idea out of nowhere. At least, not yet.
That brings us to creativity, which is where things get really interesting. AI tools like Midjourney or, those text generators, they're everywhere now. They can help with brainstorming or pitching ideas, but I find their outputs are often, a bit predictable.
Yeah, totally. I played around with Midjourney last month, trying to generate some album art for my synth collection. The results were cool, but after a while, I noticed they all kind of look the same. Like, there's this sameness. It's like AI is remixing what already exists, not inventing something truly new.
That's a real concern. Some people argue that AI is making us settle for mediocrity. Because it's trained on existing content, it tends to produce average, safe results. There's a risk we start accepting that as the standard and stop pushing for originality.
Yeah, and I read about this study. I think it was a US R&D lab. They gave scientists access to an AI tool for discovering new materials. The top researchers almost doubled their output, which is amazing. But a lot of them said they felt less satisfied, like they weren't using their creativity or skills as much. That's kind of sad, right?
It is. And it's not just about productivity. If AI is only helping with the easy parts or making everything more average, we might lose the diversity and depth that comes from real human creativity. But on the flip side, when humans and AI collaborate, studies show we can actually boost creative performance, though sometimes at the cost of idea diversity.
Yeah, it's like AI can help you get unstuck, but if you rely on it too much, you end up in this echo chamber of good enough ideas. I guess the trick is figuring out where to draw the line. when to use AI as a tool, and when to trust your own weird, messy human instincts.
Exactly. And maybe that's the new creative skill, knowing how to work with AI without letting it flatten your originality. It's a balance, and we're all still learning how to get it right.
So let's talk about decision making. AI is getting really good at automating routine data analysis, which frees us up for the big picture stuff, strategy, innovation, all that. But there's a catch, right?
Definitely. While AI can process huge amounts of data and even suggest unconventional solutions, it doesn't have the nuanced understanding of human values, ethics, or social context. That's why collaboration between industry, academia, and regulators is so important. We need diverse perspectives to guide how AI is used in decision making.
Yeah. And I always get a bit nervous talking about ethics. It's not my strongest area, honestly. But I do think if we just let AI make all the calls, we risk missing out on the stuff that makes us human, like empathy or, you know, understanding the impact of a decision beyond just the numbers.
That's why I started teaching responsible AI workshops. I wanted to help people see that it's not just about the technology, it's about the people affected by it. We talk a lot about societal perspectives and how important it is to include them from the very beginning, not as an afterthought.
Yeah, and I think that's the future, right? Humans and AI working together, each doing what they do best. AI can handle the grunt work, but we still need people to ask the tough questions, challenge assumptions, and make sure we're not just optimizing for efficiency at the expense of, well, everything else.
Exactly. It's not about replacement, it's about reinvention. If we get it right, AI can help us be more creative, more strategic, and maybe even more human. But it's up to us to shape that future together.
Well said, Priya. I think that's a good place to wrap up for today. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon with more on how AI is changing our world. Sometimes for the better, sometimes, well, we'll see. Priya, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Arjun. And thanks to all our listeners for joining us on the Singularity Show. Until next time, take care and keep questioning the future.